Well, welcome to Wednesday's hymn. It is always interesting looking at the authors of the hymns to see whether what you can see in their life somehow is reflected in their words. The lady that we're looking at today, Anna Letitia Waring, was born in 1823 and lived through to 1910. And you remember this is the Victorian era, and she therefore was 87 when she died. But she wrote this hymn in 1850, so she was only 27 when she wrote this hymn. And prior to being an Anglican, she was from a Quaker household. So I suppose one would expect her hymns to have a sense of love and peace and joy and gentleness that you wouldn't necessarily find in some of the strong hymns of Wesley or the powerful hymns written by many others who were Anglicans. And see how a Quaker becomes an Anglican, how the mighty have fallen. Goodness. This hymn, In Heavenly Love Abiding, is a most beautiful, gentle hymn. It's one where you feel that across all the chaos and storm and pain of life, you can still be sheltered under the wings, under the arms of Christ, in the hands of Christ, being carried by Christ, as it were, in those moments of deep pain. It's a reflection of Psalm 23, in a sense. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. When she died, she had already made a decision as to which hymn she would like to have at her funeral. And it was one that she had written herself, but it wasn't this one. And although I've been through a few hymn books, I can't find any other particular hymn that I know very well that she has written. But the one that she had at her funeral was Father, I Know That All My Life. Now, if anyone can find that, that would be a great joy to find out what those words were. She was born in Wales, and the hymn tune was written also by a Welshman, David Jenkins, and it's called Penlan. It has been played to other things, but David Jenkins wrote this particular hymn tune in 1898. And Anna Letitia Waring wrote her hymn in 1850. So the two came together 30 years later while she was still alive. David Jenkins is an interesting bloke. He was, amongst other things, the national adjudicator for the Eisteddfod in Wales. He wrote a number of other tunes, not that many that one would know, and indeed I couldn't find one that I particularly wanted to tell you about. Interestingly, I suppose, anyway, Penlan, which is the name of the tune, is a suburb of Swansea, but it also means headland, so it could be anywhere that has a headland. And also interestingly, and I'm not going to flog it too much because many of you may not have ever heard of it, but he was one of the founders of the tonic solfa movement, which was an alternative way of putting music on paper, an easier way in theory for people to be able to sing the notes. And Penlan, as you will remember, goes like this. which is a lovely flowing tune, which goes with a lovely flowing hymn, in heavenly love abiding. As soon as you read that first phrase, you are relaxing. You're not into onward Christian soldiers here. You're into in heavenly love abiding. You know what's coming. It's going to be something gentle, Quakerish even, in an Anglican hymn book. No change my heart shall fear. How often do we fear change? Like all the time, eh? And safe is such confiding, for nothing changes here. The storm may roar without me, my heart may low be laid, but God is round about me. How can I be dismayed? Wherever he may guide me, no want shall turn me back. Can't say that that's always the case. Except that, of course, he provides, and that's the picture that is there. It's not just our wants, but the needs that we have are provided for by God. My shepherd is beside me, and nothing can I lack. His wisdom ever waketh, his sight is never dim. In other words, he doesn't go to sleep on you when you need him most. He knows the way he taketh, and I will walk with him. I'm reminded of that great picture of the sands of life, where you have the footsteps in the sand, and two pairs of footsteps are walking together, and then at a really difficult moment in life, it looks as though it's only one set of footsteps, and the person who is walking with Jesus said, "Why did you leave me at that point?" And Jesus says, "No, my son, I was carrying you at that point." And there's a picture in that there. He knows the way he taketh, and I will walk with him. And then green pastures are before me. I can't help thinking about the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. Green pastures are before me, which yet I have not seen. Bright skies will soon be o'er me, where the dark clouds have been. It is a feeling that she is in a depth of problem, issue, depression, whatever it happens to be. My hope I cannot measure. In other words, even though I am down there, I've got hope that is up there. My path to life is free. And that could mean I can see a way forward, or it could equally mean it costs nothing. My Saviour has my treasure, and he will walk with me. The end of that second verse was, and I will walk with him, my choice. The end of the third verse is, and he will walk with me, his choice. Lovely hymn, and here it is.